Last Wednesday, I woke up to that tweet. I was in Yellow Springs, Ohio, and knowing that a mere 3 hours and 20-minute drive away, this fight was underway, and having read that tweet while laying in bed first thing as my eyes open, I rearranged my entire schedule for the week so that I might hop in a car and drive that 3 hours and 20 minutes to confront this young man about that very tweet, putting himself in league with the likes of Muhammad Ali and Floyd Mayweather, career boxers, icons in the sport, the top of field. And I couldn't allow something that egregious to stand in the world without challenging it. And I knew that I would be the only one capable of challenging it. On the drive, I realized that I had just successfully been trolled into covering the fight. This is what he does. This is what is so aggravating to boxers and even MMA fighters, that he puts himself in league with them, career boxers, career fighters, mixed martial arts, and he's not that. And that journey is something that we all respect. We understand the hard, long slog of it. We understand there are no guarantees. We understand what it requires to be successful in those sports as a career, and to reach the level of being able to host a pay-per-view with that kind of purse, pick your opponent, get this kind of attention. Well, it drives us crazy because this kid doesn't deserve that. He's not in the league with those guys, and he keeps putting himself in comparison to people like Muhammad Ali and Floyd Mayweather and calling out Canelo. And we all know that any career boxer would dispense with this fella in less than a round. 2 would almost be embarrassing. But what I couldn't believe as I was an hour and 30 minutes into my drive is that I had been trolled into it. I read one tweet. It was so incensing that I couldn't not do it. And that's what he's been doing to the entire boxing world. That's what he's been doing in the MMA world. And then I got embarrassed. Not because I got trolled into it, but because in all this time, even having brought this spectacle into the sport personally, I had forgotten my pugilist history. Of course, this guy deserves to have a main event. And of course, it gets this kind of attention. And of course, he can make this kind of money because he's a prize fighter. And that is absolutely a part of pugilist history. Prize fighting. It's not the same as a career boxer. It's not the same as a world champion. It's an element of the sport that is a phenomenon in times. It's a spectacle. It's an event. It's a single night of prize fighting where one guy tries to best another guy for the bag, as they would say today. They're just fighting for the bag. They're not engaged in a career-long slog to be world champions and understand the science of boxing and to put on a technical performance that checks all the boxes and that's indefeatable because they've got such a grasp of the science and are able to execute boxing at its highest level. And that takes years and years of training and fights and commitment. And none of that has he put into this pursuit of his. But he has put plenty in fact, more than enough to require the attention of the combat sport fan base. Because there's something so spectacular about watching a prize fight. And that's what he is. He's a prize fighter. These guys are fighting for a prize on the night. And most career boxers only hope to reach the level of being a prize fighter. What I mean by that is a career boxer is reaching for championships. They're building a lifelong career. They're building a record that they can be proud of. They're besting the best in their division. And that's why they move divisions. They want to keep proving that in each of these divisions, they are the best and they want to fight the best. And they all say that, and some of them even mean it. That's a different path. That is a different commitment. That's a different journey. For him to put himself in league with that journey, with that path, with that commitment is absurd. It's offensive, so offensive that we can't get this kid out of our heads because he is really challenging everything that we believe in and respect about pugilism and a career boxing life. What we're overlooking is that prize fighting is its own genre. We just haven't seen it in a long time. And a guy like Canelo, a guy like Mayweather, a guy like even Muhammad Ali reaches a point in a boxing career where they're at the pinnacle. They've got the championships. They have proven themselves to be the best of the best. They're pound for pound number one. They've got the highest earning potential. They have all the spotlight. And then what do? They start dictating terms. I'm going to fight on this day. I'm going to fight that guy. I'm going to fight him for this much money. I'm going to pay him this much, and I'm going to get that much. And that essentially becomes a prize fight. And it's no longer really about the championship belts. That's just an element of it. But you're going to see Canelo. Canelo fights on this day because he wants to. He fights that guy because he picked him, and he fights for this much money because he says so. And we go. But he has that entire career building up to that point that legitimizes it as a world champion who's defeated the best of the best. And now there's nothing left to do in a boxing career once you reach the pinnacle, but start prize fighting. This kid seemed to have started at the end, but there's an element of just a barroom brawl, kind of best of the night element to the sport, and that's called prize fighting without the career to back it up, which is why this guy will never be an icon in the sport of boxing. He'll never be in the Hall of Fame. He'll never be thought of in the league with Muhammad Ali and Mayweather, as he puts himself, which is what's so offensive. He's just a prize fighter. And when he stops prize fighting, we'll forget about it. But on the night, not only could we, but we should enjoy it. And it's just good fun. And it's wildly entertaining because I was there. I got to tell you, we had a lot of fun. And the question I refused to answer was who I thought was going to win, because I never thought about it, because I didn't care. And the fun is in not caring. That's what a prize fight's about. Who's going to win on the night? Who's going to get the prize? When we go home, it's like fast food. You don't want to read the back of the box. You don't want to know the nutritional value. And once you dump it out into the toilet bowl, you don't ever want to see it again. I don't ever need to see Tyron Woodley fight Jake Paul again. But the next big prize fight, I'll be there, ringside, having a great, great time. You are a prize fighter. You got it tonight.
Thank you, boss.
The audience got
Thank you always for the support. You've been there since day one.
I appreciate you for that.
Appreciate it, 100%.
And I'll be there till the last day.
Let's go.
Radio Rahim with Jake Paul.